how would you define a monopoly?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was in school studying, it's almost like, when you have total control, when a few companies, a few major players have total
Hmm.
control of the market. So sometimes it's just one player that has total control. For example, I remember years ago, before Walmart became the Walmart that it is today, where everywhere you turn, there's a Walmart, right? We had mom and pop stores that, we had access to. People had businesses, and then all of a sudden they came to a community and said product dump. Literally cut prices so low that your mom and pop couldn't keep their business open. So definitely, I think it is the capitalist system. Like, everybody's looking for lower prices. Everybody's looking for access. And that's one of those companies. That's what they're able to do. They have economies of scale. They're able to have products available to the consumer at a very low price. But the price cut that you receive, the discounts that you're receiving, did not come easily. It came at a price to those who are manufacturing. We just talked about the fact that I've been to China when I was in grad school. I actually spent a couple months, I think it was like 6 or 8 weeks in China. And I was able to be one of those people who had the privilege of going to manufacturers. We saw the workers and we saw the conditions that they were working under. And also, many of them had an opportunity to have conversations with us, and not only reading from, the books, but you being able to see folks who are working 16, 17 hours a day and not be able to make $10 a day. So at the expense of us coming here, being able to go to chain stores like the one that I just mentioned, be able to get discounted products. But trust me, I was saying to you earlier today that I read this book this month or last month, Conscience Capitalism. And John McKay, I believe his name is, he's trying to convince us that there's such a thing as conscience capitalism. And I will beg to differ, because I think that at certain levels, at the top of the pyramid, yes, you might be able to experience that. The shareholders, stakeholders at that level, they might be able to say, yes, I've experienced conscience capitalism. But those who are at the bottom of the pyramid will tell you differently. You ask someone who works for a multinational corporation in my country where I was born, in Haiti, they'll tell you making $30 a month, working 15 hours a day is not very conscientious.
Yeah, I would agree. American capitalism, it affects Americans heavily for the
Mhm.
better and for the worse. Now,
Correct.
as we're moving on, it's going more towards the worse, at least in my opinion. But
Mhm.
globally, it's even worse. This cell phone right here that we all enjoy. I don't even know how much I paid for this. I couldn't tell you.
They're
But
like $1,800 for the 13 iPhone 13, 13, $1,400. Yeah,
but the human cost around the whole rest of the world, how they just the cheap labor that American companies say they don't use, but they totally do use.
I do.
it's it's almost unavoidable. So yeah, I would say on an international level, the real cost of capitalism is unquantifiable.
Correct.
And but at the end of the day, right?
Externalities, that's what they call, why the externalities. Many
Right.
times they're not talking about how it's impacting the environment. How is it? Because I remember the year that I went to China in Beijing, people had, before COVID, people were wearing masks because of the pollution. It
Mm-hmm.
was so polluted over there. Cancer, externalities, like there's high rate of cancer in that country. Healthcare is a big thing now because of all the things that they didn't know. Because we have environmental protection agencies here in this country, but when those multinational corporations or these big corporations, they go overseas, they're not governed. They're not governed under the same guidelines that they govern here. So many times, they bypass so many regulations to get to the bottom line. And yes, we get to, as a matter of fact, I get to benefit. Everybody gets to benefit because, like I said, when I go to one of those chains and I get a discounted shirt or a discounted product, I am part of the problem that's causing the hurt and the pain and the difficulties that people are experiencing overseas.
Well, we benefit. We do benefit from lower cost of things. However, back to the monopoly point, like a Walmart, like you can't say Walmart of itself is monopoly, but like Walmart, Target, and like another store combined, like an Amazon, can be considered a monopoly because, yeah, the prices are low, but if we had more competition, they might be lower, right? We don't know, and we're never gonna know because it's arguably a monopoly, right?
Correct. I mean, they find a way because of the power that they have, economic power that they have. They find
It's
a
too
way
powerful.
to alleviate others and then stand alone. Yeah.
But, and when they get too powerful, it's supposed to be, one, the government steps in and creates regulations, or two, the workforce comes in and unionizes and pretty much fights for the right.